I'm taking some cuttings off this blackcurrant bush today on pots and trowels, and that's brought to you with the support of Darlac and Cobra Garden. Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels. Well, I've just come into the greenhouse, a bit chilly outside, because I'm going to take some cuttings from this blackcurrant bush. Normally it's outside, I've purely come in to do the work. This is a blackcurrant bush that I grew from a cutting. This is a 2-year-old plant, and I potted it up into a slightly larger pot just to help it beef out a little bit. And if I knock it out the pot, you can see it's now made a really good root system in that pot. So this will be planted into our new fruit and vegetable plot later on in the season. Now, when you're planting any currant, whether it's blackcurrant, red currant or white currant, what we normally recommend is when you plant them, you prune them hard back. It seems a waste, I know, because we've got these nice stems here, but what we want it to do in that first year of growth is to send up more than 3 shoots. We've got 3 main stems on this one here. If I prune it back, it will probably send up 6 stems. So for the following year, it will be really well established, the roots in the soil, we've got a good framework of branches on the top, and then it will bear fruit in its second season. So when I do plant this out later on in the spring, I will actually prune this down. And that seems a bit of a waste of all these cuttings on the top. So what I'm going to do is take some cuttings now, and here we are in January, sort of mid-January time. Not too late to take them. We can take them any time from November through until about mid to late February when they're dormant. And if we see here, this is all new growth, last year's new growth. So what I'm going to do is just cut that off just above a bud there. Doesn't really matter because that will be pruned down in the spring. And then if I show you here how we prepare a cutting, it's really simple. I'm going to make the first cut just below a bud here. So that's a bud, and that's what we call the node. So I'm just making a cut just below it. Nice clean cut with a sharp pair of secateurs, and normally about the length of a pair of secateurs, which is about 7 or 8 inches. A bud there, and I'm going to make a sloping cut just above it like that. Okay, that means any water will run off. Now traditionally what we would do is we would insert these into the garden in some prepared soil, and we'd push them in so there's about 2/3 below soil level and 1/3 above. But another way that you can do this is to start them off in pots. And as I've not got the vegetable garden up and running yet, I'm going to root them into these 9 centimetre, 3.5 inch pots. This is a multi-purpose mix here, nice and open. I'm just going to fill the pot, give it a tap, and then it's just a case of simply pushing that down to almost the bottom of the pot. So I'm not getting 2/3 in, but I'll get about 1/3 in, and a light firm like that. And it's as simple as that, really. I'm going to take one more because I want to get another 2 or 3 plants going, and I'm just going to trim it like that. So it really is that simple. Plant pot. So if you've got one in your garden, or you've got a friend that's got a blackcurrant in their garden with some nice new stems and you want some plants, then you can get some cuttings now. Perfect time to do it. Throw away these little bits. The all important thing is to put a label in them. This one is a variety called Big Ben, Blackcurrant Big Ben. As its name suggests, it has lovely big juicy berries on it. They will root over the next 3 months. So come springtime, we'll see that these buds will start to grow. I might leave these in the greenhouse. It's cold in here, there's no heat. So I'll just keep the compost moist, leave them in here. They'll start to form a root system in there. And then in the spring, we'll get these shoots will grow. And then by the end of the growing season, we should have at least 1 foot, maybe a little bit more of new growth in there. And what I'll do as they grow is move them from that size pot into this size pot, just to give them a little bit more room for the roots to establish. And then come the end of the season, we'll have a plant that's big enough to go into the garden. So don't waste those lovely cuttings. And what we'll do in the spring, I'll show you how we plant this and how we would prune it down to encourage lots of new growth. Well, thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and remember you can watch all the videos that we've done on YouTube, where of course you can subscribe for free. We'll be back again in the garden next week. We're going to be looking at the water butts and making sure they're all set up ready to capture rainwater to use next summer.